So now we wake up again to another senseless killing, which don't make any sense. And you know, like, the more I watch these things, the more I'm seeing, like, you know, even more, we know what the problem is. We know about, the knives and the kids and the music. We know about all of that. But there's some things that I just think that people ain't correlating together. Like, how does a teenager end up stabbing a young girl in the neck on the way back from school? It's not like it's in the hood. It's not like it's beat. There's gal out there that's active, running up and down, doing what they're doing. They're outside with man. They be, there's girls like, there's things like that happening in the hood all the time. But these things don't correlate. Why? And what I'm trying to get to, it's not real. Like, these kids are being given this environment which isn't real. And I can guarantee, well, not guarantee, but I could more than assume that most of this is based around embarrassment. That the girl said something to the youth, and the youth's embarrassed. And that's the point I want to make. That's the point. It's like the environment that these kids are growing up in, things like embarrassment, things like, being human, no longer exist. It's like I was saying to someone the other day, when you look at, even say, for instance, our music, most of our audience aren't coming from the situation that the kids are coming, the actual artists are coming from themselves. But yet their rhetoric and their comments and their views will dictate what these artists do. Or, again, what the environment of our culture is. So now this leaves these youths to live this unrealistic way where they can't take embarrassment, they can't take checks, they can't take any type of, so if you've got a clever gal who's got a clever mouth, a youth's gonna, well, I can't take, and then we're gonna end up here. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what's happened, but I've got a strong feeling it's probably down them lines around that. But again, situations like this aren't real, because it's not, of course they're real as far as kids are dying, but kids are creating situations that shouldn't exist, and then innocent people are being hurt for it. And they're creating environments that shouldn't exist. Kids shouldn't feel like they need to be active on the way to school, like that anyway. When we grew up in school, there was a set of kids that were active, but they weren't active on the way to school like that. There was, there'd be a certain set of man who might, section off after school's finished and go do whatever they're doing, but it weren't like that. So I think it's like, the problem is, until we start making the youth realize that living like this is trampy, until we start embarrassed, until we start make the youth know that, you see the way you're living, that's not how real niggas live, bro. Because right now, this is how real niggas live to them. But that's not how real niggas live. Stabbing kids and girls on the way to school and all that. That was never in the playbook. So, like, until man really start embarrassing them, because we made, like, situations that are embarrassing normal, bro. Like the Savage Pack attitude, where there's 20 man holding down, or like chasing down one man. That was never the makeup. We come from walk downs and all that. So, like, just this whole kind of trampy savagery way of thinking. Like, life's real, conflict's real, but this savagery, trampy way of thinking, we need it out of our culture. And the music and the people that aren't from our culture are inspiring this even more so, and helping this and guiding this. But that savagery, that tramp way of thinking, that, a life's worth nothing way of thinking, there's no gangster in that. There's no real in that. We're tramps. That's a tramp's mindset. That's a third world poverty mindset, and we're not in a third world. So that's what I want to really hone down. Until we start embarrass the youth and make them know that, that way you're living, that's some tramp lifestyle, bro. And I know it works, because I do it in real time around here, bro. But anyway, we need to get to this now, and a lot of the shit that's going on to apparently help it is not helping. You can do all the talks in the world, you can have all the rallies, all the marches, all the stimps in the world, until the youth start feeling embarrassed for the way they're living, until the way they're living no longer makes sense to be in what they want to be next in life, it's not going to stop.